Good morning, Neo-Swedenborgianism, and welcome to Out of the Blue Bee, number 0185. I'm sending this out to DJ Mondo and my brother James today because I have a scientific prediction I'm going to make. I want to introduce it for the newcomers that this is what I call Neo-Swedenborgianism. And I don't actually talk about Swedenborg, but if you can go and read Swedenborg if you want. His book is called Heaven and Hell. But that is not really what I talk about. I talk about starting with the spiritualists, because the spiritualists were all readers of Swedenborg, and you can really tell because they're describing similar worlds. In the description, I'm going to link 1896 Francezzo, Wanderer in the Spirit Lands, and 1916 Spirit Intercourse by Hewat, McKenzie. And there's lots of other ones, very good ones too. The spiritualist, or more specifically, Hewat, McKenzie in 1916, describes what he calls the spirit spheres. 2 rings around Earth, an inner ring and an outer ring. And this is where the astral realm and heaven are. And he gives specific numbers and specific descriptions. He describes what so this is where people go when they die, according to this 1916 book. There's an inner ring and an outer ring. The inner, it gets brighter as you go up higher, and the outer edge of the inner ring. Okay, so there's 2 rings, and they're thick, mind you, right? And so on the top edge of the inner ring is where Summerland is, and that's kind of a spiritualist heaven where the sun never sets. It's always the middle of summer. It's always the most beautiful day, and that's where your ancestors in their heavenly homes live. Okay, so that's what this book says, and it describes it, and it's sort of interesting, and it's linked below. Now, in 1958, James Van Allen, because they wanted to get to the moon, and they were exploring the properties of the space around Earth, discovered what's now called the Van Allen belts. And that is 2 rings around the planet, an inner ring and an outer ring. At the time, they only knew of the 2 rings. Now we know that there's sometimes a temporary 3rd ring. But at the time, they just discovered 2 rings. And so he also gives dimensions of the inner ring and the outer ring. And in the James Van Allen, I'll link it on Wikipedia, 36,040 miles in 1958. 1916, he said 35,580 miles, right? And so it's also known to fluctuate like a natural thing it is. And so that's a fluctuation of very small fluctuation considering the size of the thing, okay? So that's all linked below. My prediction is that tomorrow, because I can predict this because the phenomena of the NDE has been widely studied, and I predict that tomorrow somebody's going to have a heart attack, hopefully not me, rise above their bed, look down at their body, because they're going to be in the ceiling, then they turn and they see a tunnel of light in the sky. They go up this tunnel of light a great distance, and they see what he describes and what they describe as the Van Allen belts. That's my prediction. Thanks, see you, bye.